So anyway, I'm Jake from React, and we were wanting to do a little bit of a introduction, kind of a review, a test of 4 different lights that we kind of had in mind. 2 of them, the reason being is because you can mount them to a weapon, also carry them on duty, and they also have pretty high powered LEDs. So we wanted to try and get kind of a various different broad spectrum of different lights that we could test. So what we got here, this is the dual switch Streamlight Stinger, and we went actually with the poly Stinger instead of the regular Stinger because it was about 5 lumens brighter than the metal frame Stinger. So really it's kind of the same flashlight, but not. We went with the dual switch just to try it out. All the lights that we're testing, they all have fully recharged batteries and they're ready to go. Next, the Streamlight Strion, I think that's how you say it correctly. We wanted to try this just because it was a smaller duty light. An officer could carry it. It's kind of small in size, has a few functions, and we got the weapon mount for it. It's got a weapon mount that's designed specifically to lock in place to add this to an assault rifle of some sort. After that, we have the 2 Streamlight 2 Protacs, 2 different versions. One's the 2L, which is the 2 CR123 battery type that's really small in size. It's 185 lumens, which is really bright, but it's small. It's got a pocket clip, can fit in your pocket. The Protac HL is the new one that just came out, and it is 600 lumens, so we're going to give that a shot and see what that looks like compared to the rest of them, because all of these are in about the 180-160 range as far as lumen output, but this one's 600. Again, on this one is weapon mountable because it does have a 1-inch barrel on it. You can remove the pocket clip on it and attach that to one of your 1-inch barrel style mounts that would attach to a Picatinny rail. So we're going to give that a shot as well. Alright, first up we have the Poly Stinger DS, and the DS stands for dual switch. It's got a switch in the front and a large tail cap switch in the back. It has different functions. You can hold the buttons down and it will give you about 3 different modes of brightness. And if you click it twice, it will give you a strobe function. On the high power, it's a 185 lumens, which is good to about 2 hours. Medium is 3 hours and 45 minutes is what the medium's good for. Low, it'll run on at 7 hours, and strobe, it'll strobe for 5.5 hours. The different lumens on the low, medium, and high is 185, then 95, then 45. The only thing that's strange about it, considering the different kinds of lights and things that we have today, is this thing actually runs on NiCad batteries. I didn't even know that you could buy NiCads anymore instead of the nickel metal hydride or polylithium. But it's a very bright light, and it's pretty good in size. It really doesn't weigh all that much, basically because it is poly. It's polymer. So, but we're going to test this one out and see how it stacks up compared to the other ones. Next in line is the Streamlight Strion. I think I'm saying that right. I'm not sure. One of the cool things about all of these Streamlights is they actually have a serial number. So if that kind of helps you out with tracking things down, that is one thing that's really cool about it. Also, a lot like the Stinger, is they are both rechargeable batteries. They do have chargers that they will snap into place, but as you can see, they are there's a lot of difference in size. This is rated at 185 lumens, this one's rated at 160 on high. The runtime on this one is 2 hours, basically because it has a lithium-ion battery instead of the NiCad batteries that are in this. On medium, it will run 80 lumens for 4 hours, and then at 40 lumens for 7.5 hours. It does have strobe function just like this one, and the way the buttons are depressed are identical in functionality. It does have an anti-roll head. The Poly Stinger does not have an anti-roll head, so it doesn't want to move around. It does have a pressure switch like the Poly Stinger does, where you can just momentary press it or just click it into place. They both function, like I said, identical. One of the really neat things about the Strion is, for a little extra money, you can again buy the weapon mount for it. And the way it works is basically, once this is mounted to your weapon, you can pull this off your duty belt if you're carrying it on a duty belt, and then you can roll this into place and it locks into place so it doesn't move. And it is built very, very well. This is a very well machined piece of hardware that would fasten to your AR-15 or whatever it is that you've got. But other than that, we'll see how this one stacks up against the rest of them as far as functionality and how it reacts to recoil while it's on the weapon. So next in line we have the Streamlight Protac HL. This is basically a pocket-sized flashlight. This is one of my favorite flashlights because I keep a flashlight with me wherever I go. It's small. I mean, it really will fit in the palm of your hand. It's lightweight. It's got a pocket clip. I actually use a flashlight more than I do a pocket knife. It does have a anti-roll head on it if you decide to take the belt clip off of it. But as far as that goes, it runs on 2 CR123 batteries, so they are not rechargeable. You can get rechargeable CR123s on eBay or wherever that you can, in fact, reuse. So don't let that really be a deciding factor on these. It is a very powerful small light. It is rated at 180 lumens, but since it draws so much power and it's so small, its runtime's only 2.5 hours. So it's got two other functions. It's got high, it's got low, and it's got strobe. The tail cap functionality is a little bit different. On your Stinger and your Strion, you would click it twice for strobe, or the low setting. On this, you actually hit the momentary switch twice, kind of double tap, or hit it 3 times for the low. So you've got 3 different ways of doing it, but it only works whenever you use the momentary function. Once you get it there, you can go ahead and depress it to make it stay on whatever function you want. Like I said, 180 lumens, 2.5 hours. On the low, which is only 10 lumens, it is pretty low in brightness, but it'll actually stay lit for 50 hours. It's good for 50 hours on low, and on strobe it'll run for 6 hours. So, and again, Streamlight, it's got a serial number, and pretty cool little light. And our last one that we have in line is the Protac HL. This is the new one that just came out. It works in functionality just like the other Protac does, as far as the tail cap. Except for it has 10-tap programming. We're going to figure out how that works exactly. We haven't read the manual yet, so this is something new that we're going to get to play with. It does have a anti-roll head, just like the other 3 did. The high beam on this thing, though, is extraordinary. They claim 600 lumens on this, where the other ones were in the 160 to 180 range. This one is rated at 600. So we're going to see what that looks like compared to the rest of them. As far as that kind of output, the runtime on high is only an hour, right at an hour and a half. We're going to see what that looks like when it runs for 30 minutes or so, how much it diminishes the battery. On low, it's 33 lumens, but then the time jumps to 18 hours. And the strobe function, like the rest of them, you got a 2.5 hour runtime on that. One of the neat things about this is it does have a 1-inch barrel, kind of like the more expensive Surefires and things like that. So you can get a 1-inch adapter for your Picatinny rail and pull the pocket belt clip off of it and slide this in there, and then you've got a weapon mounted light. Yes, it will take longer to mount this to your weapon if this is what the kind of thing that you want to carry on duty. And then, you know, if you need your AR and mount it to a weapon, it will take longer to do because you got to undo the screws and slide it in there. Unlike the Strion, where you can literally go with that special mount from your duty belt straight to the weapon, and it slides into place. So that's kind of the big difference between the two. But we're going to see if it's a decent enough trade-off for rechargeability and 160 lumens versus non-rechargeable 600 lumens. So we're going to see how that works out. As far as unboxing these and getting them out of the box, I've seen a lot of reviews where they're doing reviews and then they have the unboxing part of it. I ain't going to put you through all that crap. They're out of the box, okay? What's in them is two of them have these neat little pouches. Both basically the Protacs have neat little pouches that they'll go in, which will either fasten to a belt or you can slide through MOLLE weaving if you want to go that route. But basically, there they are. They're out of the box.